Yeah.
Can I be in it or no?
Hey y'all, it's your girl Key with my little one here. She coming to y'all soon. We trying to get something together called I Am Layla Gross. But I wanted to come on here because I got some disturbing news from my daughter, one of my daughters yesterday regarding one of her friends who is 18 years old, and he is he's pretty much getting ready to get life in prison at the age of 18. I think his 19th birthday is approaching. And I said something that may have been out of pocket. Let me turn this down. I don't own the rights to none of that music. That's WGCI playing. And what I said to my daughter was, had his mother not sent him away, I don't think that this would have been something that happened. Now, I told you all before, you never know why someone makes a tough decision for their child. And I don't know what his mother's reasons were for sending him away. I know that he was struggling in the home. This was a child that I have been talking to. And one of his biggest complaints was that his mother had a man that wasn't his father, but it was his younger sister's father, and that nobody was paying him any attention anymore, that they had their own separate life. This was his complaint. I don't know what went on in these people's homes, but here's my thing. When I hear youth I don't even want to say that they complain, because they got feelings too, y'all, and he felt something. He felt some type of way about how he felt in the house with them. And what I got from it, and I could be wrong, I don't know, I honestly don't know, but what I got from how he was feeling, because he seemed like he was always sad. When I would talk to him, I crack jokes and everything, and he'd be like, hey, Miss Boy, and and I would tell him, you stay out of trouble, don't have me come looking for you. And he'd be like, I'm good. But when we had to have those conversations, because Asia felt as though something was bigger on his heart, and he would talk about how he just didn't feel comfortable in his own home, how his little sister was treated better, that he wasn't. It sounded to me like he just wasn't being poured into. Now, I don't know what his relationship was with his stepfather or whatever the case may be, but I do know what he had to say as far as what he felt about being in that house. That is a tough decision for a parent to make. What I got was that he was misbehaving. He wouldn't act right. So they sent him far away to stay with someone else. Now, what ended up happening when he was staying with this person, from what I gather, is the parent in that house actually died. Now, this still did not warrant for him to come back home. What he ended up doing was living with some friends out there where he was. Now, in my mind, I'm looking at it like that's one of those, okay, God, I need him to go and come back home. Maybe that's just me analyzing the things that take place after I make a decision. But he didn't come home. He ended up staying down there. He ended up getting into the D-boy lifestyle. He ended up, because where he was sent to was a small town, he kind of ended up being it as far as the D-boy lifestyle. And that lifestyle kind of just took over his little life. Fast money can be addictive, just like a drug. And it seemed like it kind of took over his life. I even talked to him about college, and he was like, if I go, I'm going to just do 2 years. I'm not for the whole school thing. And I understood that. Like I told y'all before, college not for everybody. And you have to know your child and their limitations. There's no point wasting time and money if that's not what they're cut out for academically. He was real honest about it. He said, if I go, I only do 2 years. I'm not cut out for that. I would just do what I need to do to get a degree. You can't do nothing but respect him for that, for being honest with himself. And so what has transpired is that he is now on the run. The police are looking for him. And my baby is scared to death for him because they ended up being very good friends. It didn't work with them dating, but he struggled with a lot of things, and Asia struggles with a lot of things as well, and it just wasn't something she felt as though was gonna work. But every time he needed a friend to talk to, she called him, and if it seemed like it got deeper than what she felt as though she could say to him, she would be like, Mom, can you just talk to him? And I never mind. And when my kids come and say, can you just talk to some, I never mind talking to them. As long as they're willing to receive it, I will speak to these babies. I promise you. So I kind of got the gist of how he was feeling. And this seemed like it turned, we went from having a potential, put that back. She is doing the most. We went from having a potentially decent human being, because he's very respectful despite what he has done, because it's bad. We went from having a potential great man, speaking futuristically, to him feeling unwanted, unloved, becoming rebellious, turning to the streets, and now he's going to prison. And I had to explain this to my child. He's going to go to jail. What he did is inexcusable. These babies don't know the law. They don't know what all these charges are that they can get. And in a matter of hours, he piled up charges. He made the entire situation way worse than it has to be. And I hate to say it, but he's going to get a lot of time. If I'm just speaking, I'm just going to put it out there. It looks like this baby may be getting life in prison, y'all. Whenever they find him, they're going to try to give him life for what has transpired. And my heart is so heavy for him right now. Part of me is sitting there like, you should have reached out more. You should have did this. You should have did that. And my baby is feeling the same way. And I had to tell her, that you cannot help everybody. My baby has to learn this, and I have to learn this, because it hurts when you know that there was something wrong there, and you feel as though there was more than you could have did than just talked. And truth be told, sometimes I don't know what to do to help them. I don't have all the answers. I ain't never gonna claim to have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. But my heart is so heavy for him today, and my baby is all over the place, because she's like, I can't believe he did this. I can't believe they're looking for him. I can't believe he's getting ready to go to jail at 18. His life is gone. And what I gave to my child, and I meant what I said, you have to pray for him. Mentally, that's a war right there. All up in here, that's a war. Right now, in his head. Everything is he's scatterbrained. He's probably scared. Even though he didn't do what he did, that don't mean he's not scared. That don't mean he's not somebody's child. And I told my child, you have to intercede for him. And when I say intercede, if you a youth on here, y'all got to get this together. That means where you pray on behalf of somebody else. She got to pray for him. She got to pray that God keep his mind and his heart. She got to pray that God get his boy some understanding and some clarity as far as what it is that he just did. And the fact that he now has to pay for what he just did. And pray that God give him wisdom while he is away, so that he can pour into somebody else. They got pen and paper all day long in jail. I encourage jailmates, write y'all stories. Write what led up to what ended you up there. Somebody else needs to hear that so that they understand not to make the same mistake. But I said, God, I don't know what else to do. And he woke me up at like 1:15 this morning and said, when you get his information, you make sure you write him. He needs to hear somebody's kind words. He's gonna have to hear somebody's kind words. So, I'm all over the place. I'm sad. it just, the thought of it after my baby gave me the news and I had to talk to her and everything, I try not, if I get emotional, it makes my kids emotional, because I'm getting emotional right now. If I get emotional, it makes my kids emotional. So I have to talk to her from a place of sternness when I give her direction as far as what she needs to do. But when she went upstairs into her room, I went in my bedroom and closed that door, and I wept for that baby. The people involved didn't deserve this, and he don't deserve it either. I just don't. I'm gonna be obedient, because a lot of times youth play hard in these streets, and then when they get their punishment for what they did, they don't last. So I'm going to pray that God keep this baby, y'all. I promise you, I'm gonna pray that God keep this baby, because I honestly don't think he's cut out for prison. It's a whole lot of them out here tough in these streets, or thinking they tough, but they not cut out for prison. They have made a name. This ain't something that came naturally to him. You went somewhere small and made a name for yourself. But the prison system is something big. It ain't like these youngsters you was dealing with. So, and it's scary for me, for him being in there with all these people. If y'all know y'all got kids that ain't cut out for prison, y'all just, I told my kids yesterday, I said, we not praying enough in our house. I said, let's grab the prayer mat. We not praying enough in our house. There's some things going on around us that we could be praying about. And I be needing my babies to know, y'all got to pray things out. Y'all got to talk to God about y'all friends. Y'all have to do, if you know your friend is not doing what they need to do for themselves, as far as getting the help that they need, as far as being communicative, as far as what they're going through, so that somebody else can talk to them, you all have to intercede on their behalf. You have to pray for them. And that's what I gave my kids yesterday. I told them we not I don't think we praying enough in our house. For me and mine, we gonna pray this out. But that baby just, Jesus, oh my God, y'all, oh my God. I had to let it out. I just dropped her off at work, and I dropped off my oldest daughter at work, and I'm getting ready to go in here and clean this house. That's what I do that on. That's a side hustle. I always have a side hustle. MJ Harris, Malcolm X, shout out to Malcolm MJ Harris for always keeping it all the way 100. I love him. He has got to be the most prosperous entrepreneur that I listen to, because he doesn't, and there are a lot of them out there. I'm taking the Budgetnistas classes and everything. I'm taking Matthew Stevenson's leadership classes and everything, and I'm shouting out Malcolm, because he said the realest thing when he said, don't ever walk around here with just one income. You got to have a second source of income. I don't care who you are. That second source of income is imperative. You got to be able to build your nest egg, y'all. And I told y'all, I spent about 20 years bartending. That was my hustle. When I tell you I hustle, my granny instilled that in me. And I'm going to give y'all a side note, and then I'm going to get off here, because I just found this out. I went to my granny, and I approached her about me doing video logs of her story. And this is why I approached her about that. I want us to be able to go back and see her face and hear her story after she leave here. My family has yet to do that for anyone, but I want that for my granny, because she's a pillar in our family. And she said, I'll tell you anything you want to know, but I knew she was going to tell me that. I know I've been talking about her on these videos and everything, and I say my granny always said, she did always say, because somebody asked me, so is she still here? She is still here. My granny will be, I think she'll be 84. I think she'll be 84. Her birthday is July 18th, and she'll be 84 years young. She's still hobbling around her kitchen and cooking. I was over there with her, and she wanted to put something on the grill. I'm sorry, y'all, that baby gave me toe up. She wanted to put some on the grill. She say, come on out here, help me get this grill together. But when I asked her about it, she started right in with a story. And this is something that I did not know. I started cleaning houses when I was 14, when I was living with my granny. It was my side hustle, and this is where hustling just came into me, because I was literally making $75 a house. That's a lot to somebody at the age 14. And she say we would go to it was like an assisted living community. There were buildings and townhouses and things, and she had a little roster of people who wanted their houses clean. And she said they all pay you $75. She gave me a generic list of what it is you go in and clean. I'm like, okay, I can do this. Baby, I cleaned 3 houses that first day. 3. At the age 14, going home with that. Baby, that's all I needed. After that, I was taking out my clothes the night before, like, we clean the houses tomorrow, right? So as we were talking, what my granny started explaining to me was, because I told her a part of the video logs that I wanted to do for her, I said, we never knew your mother. And she said, well, you know, my mother died at a very young age. When I was really young. She said, and she went on to explain different things that she remembered about her mom and everything. And she said that her mama worked until she couldn't work no more because she had fell ill, but she worked until she couldn't work anymore. And that she ended up, and that she ended up doing the same thing her mother was doing. And I was like, well, what was your mother doing? She said, my mother used to clean houses for a living. And when I stayed with my granny cleaned houses for a living. And here I am cleaning people's houses as my second hustle, y'all. I just thought that was great. That's one of those positive cycles, y'all. Certain things get passed down to other people. So I'm going to go in here and clean his house because he's home. And I will talk to y'all. Y'all make sure y'all pray for these babies, okay? Please pray for these babies, y'all. You say bye, mama. Let me get in here and clean this house. I love you all.
I help.